G'day mates, how are you doing? So, whenever I am impressed by Greninja give Escargot his signature move in the 10 favorite Pokemon video, where it makes sense since they both of them based off a ninja, which is impressive. Although it still makes no sense why Ninjax doesn't learn it, since, it's a ninja Pokemon that's named and based off Ninja 2, and yet doesn't learn it, which it should have. Well, apparently Dobbs doesn't think so, and assuming that Pokemon give their signature move to another Pokemon is a stolen move. And the Pokemon has lost their signature move.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
And this is a pretty baloney when he said Pokemon lost their signature move, instead of saying Pokemon signature move lost the title. Because if anyone knows the word lost means, it means unable to found or recovered. And since Greninja and other Pokemon still learn their move after lost the title, yeah, this video dubbed Meg has problems, so let's begin.
Had a whopping 5 signature moves in the original games: jump kick, high jump kick, rolling kick, mega kick, and even Mach Punch. But as time went on, it lost all these signature moves to other Pokemon who stole them.
And 11 seconds into the intro, and Dobbs already lost this one. Because 1, Mega Kick is already stolen through the TMs. And as he's seen here, which indication that the signature move already has leap and logic from debut. And second, Mach Punch is Hitmonlee's signature move? Sorry, but did you not read what the Wikipedia said? Would it state that Mach Punch is Hitmonchan's signature move, not Lee? But you know what is most brilliant baloney thing? Wikipedia also state that Hitmonchan can pass Mach Punch to Tyrogue, a pre-illusion that evolved into either Hitmonchan, Hitmontop, or Hitmonlee, which means Mach Punch is a family line signature move, not Hitmonlee's.
And it wasn't alone, because Magikarp lost Splash to a Pokemon like Wobbuffet. Ho lost Sacred Fire to Entei, weirdly enough.
And why is that weirdly? Because it makes sense if anyone remembers that Ho resurrected Entei from the fire of Burn Tower. And Entei, along with his siblings, very loyal to Ho ever since that event. Which is why Ho give Entei its signature move, loyalty. I almost know why Ho only finally give a move to Entei at Gen 6 and not the Gen 2 remix. I mean, that's pretty much bizarre. Like, why they could have involved the game I started off with, eh?
And in this video, I'm going to expose 10 Pokemon who lost their signature moves. Let's do this.
Alright, let's start with Hitmonlee, because you would think having multiple signature moves would be reserved for the most special Pokemon, like Zygarde, for example. The legendary Pokemon that keeps the Chaos region in balance. So of course, it makes sense for it to have multiple signature moves. In fact, Zygarde has 4 of them: Lands Wrath, Thousand Arrows, Thousand Waves, and Core Enforcer, plus 2 signature abilities: Aura Break and Power Construct.
The Crozma joins that club too, because it has 4 signature moves as well.
And goodbye.
And again, this is brilliant baloney nonsense. But this time, he used a Pokemon that does stole the move from 2 Pokemon through fusion, since the Crozma is a Pokemon that use fusion to steal not just the look and energy, but also their move as well, including Sugaleo or Lunana signature move. But you know what Pokemon that also does what Necrozma did? Kyurem, who also do the same thing.
Which makes sense because Necrozma is literally a godlike Pokemon that consumes suns and travels the entire galactic universe.
But back in Generation 1, for some reason, Hitmonlee had 4 signature moves, making it the original Pokemon with the most. It was the only one that could learn Jump Kick, High Jump Kick, Rolling Kick, and Mega Kick by level up, with 3 of those moves being exclusive to only Hitmonlee. That's a normal, average, non-legendary Pokemon sitting right there alongside Zygarde and Necrozma in the most signature moves category.
What in the name of Soul's Prime Forge are you talking about? Having more than 3 signature moves is a legendary state? What about Eevee and Pikachu? They have more than 3 signature moves.
And here's the problem. Having that many signature moves made Hitmonlee the Pokemon also lost the most. It lost Jump Kick to Baneri in Generation 4, and Horace to Stantler in Generation 5, High Jump Kick to Meditite in Generation 3, and Scraggy and Mewtwo in Generation 5.
Rolling Kick got passed to Marshadow in Generation 7, which makes sense because it is a martial artist legendary Pokemon.
So you guys just heard this fool said Marshmallow can learn Rolling Kick. Makes sense because he's a martial art master. So if that makes sense to have a Pokemon use another Pokemon signature move, then why did he not do the same thing to Entei and Hitmon that can also learn those signature moves as well?
And Mega Kick went to Mudbray in Generation 7, who should have had his own signature move, High Horsepower, but lost that to Snorlax and Golurk in the same generation, funny enough.
I don't think it explains the reason why that is debunkable. Hey, Hitmonlee, check this out.
Is a martial artist legendary Pokemon, and Mega Kick went to Mudbray in Generation 7, who should have had his own signature move, High Horsepower.
Yeah, come look at this.
But lost that to Snorlax and Golurk in the same generation, funny enough.
Next, we have Greninja. And it's not often a Pokemon loses a signature move and then gets it back. But Greninja has managed to do this not once, but twice. And both times are pretty hilarious. Water Shuriken is without a doubt Greninja's signature move. It's a water-type ninja that throws water projectiles. This move was made for it.
But in the very same generation, in the Hoenn remakes, Accelgor was also given the move by level up, which I guess made sense because it's also a ninja-inspired Pokemon.
Again, why are you contradicting yourself by saying that line? You say it makes sense, but complain about it again. And as I stated before, it makes sense why Escargot learn Water Shuriken, since its base fit for it, which Ninja should also follow along as well. I mean, it's a ninja Pokemon. What do you expect?
Even though it's not a water type, and none of the bugs it's based on actually do this in real life.
You know what else make no sense in real life?
A tiny little fish that is called...
Into yours truly. Haha.
But that was just the first time, because Greninja also had another signature move, Mat Block. It was the only Pokemon able to learn it until Sun and Moon, when Throh picked it up, which actually fits Through's theme because it is a karate master guy and he's going to be training with his pupils, so it made sense.
No. That would be Sock, who is karate Pokemon. Throh is a judo Pokemon. Sock and Through are maybe both Omis, but you don't have to confuse one Omi to another one.
That's not Mario. What are you, racist? That's not Mario. You just see all Italians and just call him Mario?
How do you know I'm Italian?
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, get the f*** out of here, Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm sorry, dude. You just reek of garlic. I just assumed, I guess.
What the f***, man? I think the real racist is you, Sonic the Hedgehog.
But in Generation 5, something hilarious happened. To commemorate the 9-year run of Pokemon Smash, a Japanese TV show all about Pokemon, Game Freak released an event Pokemon based on what Chief Gogo Matsumoto, one of the lead personalities of the show, wanted. And guess what he wanted? He wanted a Sableye with the move Octazooka, just because he thought it would be funny. So Game Freak actually made it and distributed it in Japan for just 1 week back in 2013, meaning Octillery lost his signature move because the TV show host decided that it would be funny for a Sableye to randomly have it. Just imagine that, a Sableye with Octazooka. Like, I couldn't even fathom what that would be like. No one is getting that Sableye's gyms.
First off, it's not literally a bazooka, it's a cannon. Namely this. Second, it's a joke event, okay? It's nothing too serious about it. I mean, if that in the case, then why didn't do that to Rayquaza, who also stole the Teenage Digiroof, eh?
So of course having the move Camouflage would make perfect sense, right? Well, apparently Game Freak didn't think so, because in the same generation Pokemon was introduced in with this move, it could not learn it. The Camouflage Pokemon, known as the Color Swap Pokemon that could camouflage itself, couldn't learn the move Camouflage. I mean, Deerling, a deer that puts leaves on his forehead, got this move before Kecleon. And his whole camouflage is just putting stuff on his forehead during the seasons.
Well, I also find it bringing baloney that a starfish got camouflage move first, before a comedian eventually got it in Gen 3 remix. But, are you Ice Dry or something? Because Deerling blend in isn't just putting stuff on his head, it's their fur changing colors through season. I mean, you're sure it's the reason why they do that.
Leaving this immortal float without this move it was literally made for. And I think it might have something to do with Zayora and whatever happened behind the scenes during the X and Y era. Because if you really think about it, Zayora actually makes way more sense as a mythical of X and Y than Sun and Moon. Because here's why.
The main legendary Pokemon of Kalos are based on Yggdrasil, the tree of life from Norse mythology. Xerneas is based on the stasis of life and immortality. Yveltal is based on the eagles to the top Yggdrasil, overseeing life from above or bringing death when the balance demands it. And Zygarde is based on Nidhogg, the serpent that constitutes the roots of the tree of life, slowly weakening it and representing the inevitable breakdown of order over time.
And here's the thing, Zera would have fit perfectly with these three Pokemon because it's an incredibly fast electric squirrel Pokemon.
Not a squirrel, a tiger. More importantly, an Omi tiger. I guess Dobbs, or whoever wrote the script, is really asking for it, eh?
In Norse mythology, there's a squirrel named Radagast that was up and down Yggdrasil, building messages between an eagle and a serpent because they hate each other. I feel like Zayora was made to be Radagast and Yggdrasil, but was scrapped and delayed for Sun and Moon for some reason. This became the Pokemon of Sun and Moon.
So maybe whatever happened behind the scenes in X and Y delayed the release of Eternal Flower Follette and basically put it into a obscurity of never being released.
Wow, that theory is off-putting. Look, I get it. You feel sorry for Eternal Flower for having an effect got scrapped for no reason. But the theory you're using doesn't make any sense. When you use Sora, it's in Sun and Moon games. But Sora wasn't in the original version. It's in the remake version. I get the reason, but dude, come on. At least you could actually find a reason why Eternal Flower doesn't get an effect, and not talk to Omis like that.
Which is hilarious because out of all the Pokemon that learn Splash naturally by level up, I feel like Mimikyu makes the least amount of sense because, like, why? What is under that cloth that is hopping around?
Exactly why Mimikyu shouldn't jump. No, seriously, why?
Next, we have Seaking, and this Pokemon actually allows us to move to Human Intervention, because if you didn't know, Seaking was the only Pokemon that could learn Waterfall in Generation 1, making it its signature move. But in the very next games, the move became an HM, so Seaking lost this move due to humans. And as we've seen in the lore of Pokemon, TMs and HMs are made by humans to teach Pokemon moves. Early artwork even shows TMs as bands that would be attached to the Pokemon's head to program the move into its brain. And later they became floppy disks that you could insert into a TM machine.
Excuse me? A disc that become a floppy disk? Where in the world do you get that from? Because the closest thing to that is in Pokemon Origins. But the TMs that write given by someone, it's already a floppy disk. So, where the heck you get that from, eh?
The Pokemon learn the move through some kind of tutorial on the screen. Well, that's how I imagine it, at least. Unless you just like shove it in their forehead like this or something. Right for it. There are even examples in the games of TMs being explicitly made by humans. Like Fissure, for example. Giovanni mentions that he created the TM after starting his gym. Or even Toxic. Koga says the move has been passed down in his family for over 400 years, being like a family heirloom or something. So maybe in the lore of Pokemon, trainers admire Seed King so much that they copy his signature move to teach other Pokemon, so it would remind him of Seed King.
Holy wisdom of Alpha Trion! I don't think I explained the reason why for this scene. Because Dobbs already did that for me. Like, mate, you destroy what you said in the opening scene, mate.
Next, we have the Hoenn starters, and these Pokemon are another great example of Pokemon who lost their signature moves. Blaziken lost Blaze Kick to Hitmonlee in the very next generation, which I guess makes sense because Hitmonlee is a kicking Pokemon, and apparently needs to know every single kicking move that exists in the Pokemon world, apparently. Like, is there a kicking move that it doesn't learn? Okay, it doesn't learn Triple Arrows, which is a Suian Decidueye signature move, which is apparently a kicking move. So, there you go, that's a kicking move that Hitmonlee can't learn. And last but not least, I thought it'd be fun to talk about some Pokemon who, quote-unquote, lost the signature move according to Ash's Pokédex in the anime.
Ash Pokédex? From the anime? Are you kidding me? You mean the same Pokédex that also has these for Hunter and for Torp?
A gaseous Pokemon. No further information. Voltorb. The identity of this creature is unknown. It has an extreme personality, uses electric attacks, and at times self-destructs.
Huh? Is that all?
Yeah, let's say we are not trust what the Pokédex said after those two information that it doesn't have. But alright. Let's continue watching to know what information you're using for.
Like, for example, in the episode Primate Goes Bananas, Dexter claims Rage is Charmander's special attack.
You can't be serious.
That is a reason why? Because the Pokédex mentioned a special attack? A special attack? Are you serious?
And you thought that Kabuto in new T2 Legend type release bullshit.
Alright, let's end here. Because holy moly, what Dobbs is saying is drawing. Which, this is the main reason why I'm glad Excalibur got Shuriken from Green Ninja and not whine about it like Dobbs does. Like, for argument's sake, it's basically like listening to a Christian saying that Pokemon is satanic, but end up look like a clown when they say that due to 3 fingers look like Satan's hand sign, while using I love you hand sign. Like, blimey. But for now, I will rank this video with letter F.